Hello, everybody, and welcome to your daily lighting critique. My name is Mike Tanzillo, and I am going to be taking you through today's submissions. We're going to do things a little bit differently today. We are going to take a look at Rachel's first because she is present. Oh, Kat's here. Good. And then I want to jump into Kat's shading stuff because I want to show some things in Substance Painters. So I kind of just want to jump into it today because we've got a lot to do and only about a half hour to do it in. So, Rachel. Great. Okay, cool. Rachel. So, I think that the depth of field on this looks really good. I think this is a nice update. The biggest thing that stood out to me initially was just how bright, it's a combination of things. It's like how bright this area is right around the eye. Like we lose the separation points between the beak and the skin around the eye. And then the eye itself is relatively dark in comparison to that. So we need to because it's the amount of light that hits the beak that makes it blow out is not enough light to make the eye any brighter in any one part. So we need to increase the shade around the eye and decrease the shade around the beak. Now, something this bright and this saturated is going to be very difficult. It's difficult to work with because it's just like it's always living right on the cusp of going too bright. And then because we're just like pushing right up against that. There are some, there's an element of the beak and it's kind of subtle, but it's like this warm kind of line that, because lots of times what makes a CG image feel CG sometimes is that when you get off of the bright area, it goes like straight to like a gray black shadow. And you've got a lovely transition coming around I don't want to say lip, whatever lip part of the beak is. It's a really, really nice subtle transition. I think that's really good. A couple other areas for you to work on, and this is the absolute challenge with this character. It was our challenge with Snoopy and with Ferdinand and any character that's kind of pure black or pure white. Is that especially when they're both, you have to struggle of getting some specularity in the black fur, like getting some speck light in there. And then balancing the value of the white fur so it doesn't blow out. And it doesn't, because right here, it gets a little bit blown out. But then there are areas like in here where it actually gets kind of gray and dark. So we need to kind of like same thing, like bring down those highlights and lift up those darker values. Sometimes the best way to handle that, anytime that I have a black and white character like this, one of the first things I do before I know that I'm going to need it, because I know I'm going to need it, is to create a matte of like an RGB matte or something that separates the white fur from the black fur. And you can look into how the fur material, I'm trying to think of it off the top of my head. I don't recall, but I believe that they have them separated either through a map or something. You can just open that, you can just create a new file, open that map, and instead of it being the black and white fur color, just replace it with like a pure red and a pure blue or green or whatever, just so you can create some mattes in there. Occasionally the fur bodies will be separate geometry and you can crypto matte that stuff, but crypto mattes can sometimes get fishy with either voxel bodies or things with transparency on them. So you may just want to find a way to isolate those. Otherwise, you could just worst case scenario, you could just you could do a much nicer matte than what I'm doing here, and do things like so this kind of involves adjusting either the curvature or for grays, getting the grays up a little bit. I usually adjust gamma because that'll kind of lift those values up a little bit, and then for the brights, I usually just pull into, is it Control M? Yeah, the curvature, and then just kind of grab some of those areas and just it's tricky. These very brights, and just kind of try and pull them back. But you can see here that if you do this with a JPEG, it just crushes. So make sure you're rendering that as EXR, because then you'll have the value range of the whites to manipulate them. Because what's happening here with the JPEG is that it hits white and then it just flattens out. But an EXR will write values up above 1, and so when you pull them down, it actually pulls them down on a curve, if that makes sense. I know it's a little abstract, but so the beak and the eye, that area is one. Black fur getting more speck, white fur getting more balanced, and then the third thing is the plants that are right in front of her. I think they're looking really good in terms of shaping, The two things that you want to do are desaturate them a little bit. The saturation's a little punchy and strong. Same thing with the leaves on the background. And then really look at some reference of these, because right now the tops of the leaves and the bottom of the leaves feel very similar shader-wise. Like the bottoms are like going to be darker, and the tops are going to be much more waxy and specky. So just like plants in heavy, dense foliage places, like broadleaf plants like this, they look more plastic than you think. They're very, very specky. They have lots of speck to them, like waxy speck.
Okay.
Cool. All right, great. All right, cool. Oh, and okay, Kat, before we go into yours, I do want to hop into Brenda's real quick. Let's see if Sync Sketch is working for us today. If not, I have everything loaded in Photoshop too. Preparing for the worst. Here we go.
I think we have progress.
Yeah, it looks like it's loaded all throughout the frame range, which is incredible. That's great. How you guys feeling about it?
I think it looks really good.
Yeah, I'm into it. Brenda, are you ready to call this done?
Yeah, I think so.
I think so too. All right. There's just the four of us here, and Brenda's not gonna clap for herself. So Kat and Rachel, I need you to bring it. I need someone to give a Ruby whoop in there too, and we're gonna clap for Brenda. You guys ready? All right, here we go. Congratulations, Brenda. This is great. Woohoo!
Well done.
All right, really, really beautiful stuff. This is gonna show up somewhere in a promotional video for us. You will see. I'm just kidding. No, this will definitely make the student highlight. If you're cool with this, is there anything that you need to re-render? Anything you want to tweak before I post this to the Hall of Fame?
No, I think it's good.
Great. Okay, cool. So Kat, let's hop into the image, and then we'll jump into a little demo here. So, okay. So you were asking about the door and talking about like the door shader and stuff. So I think. Okay. So I went ahead and just grabbed a door, and I'll show you here in just a second. But before I do, the one thing I do want to say is that the model itself needs some work, because there's these things are kind of just kind of jamming into the wall a little bit. And so usually that stuff is considered in the construction of the door. So like this would kind of end prior to the wall. And same thing with the ground here. So like that kind of stuff needs to be considered and just kind of tweaked in there. And same thing like with this one here going up to the top, there would be kind of a door jam or something at the top. There's more like structure to it. Yeah, totally fine. But just before you get too far into it, just make sure that the door itself is what you want. So okay, so let me start over, because this is just me testing this. So I'm gonna grab a model here. I've just got this wooden gate. I got this from the Substance Asset Library, and then just kind of want to show you what I do with it. So I'm just going to make it 2K for now. It's already got UVs on it. We're DirectX. Okay, cool. So I'm just going to go ahead and bring this in. It has a bunch of once this loads, it has a bunch of components already broken out, but I kind of want to just focus in on the door itself and a couple of things that we can do with that. But I will throw some shaders on things elsewhere. Like for now, I'll just throw on some wood for the door. We will just use, we'll use this one. And the first thing I always do is I just want to make sure the scale is looking right. So this door, I think it's every time I put anything on it, the scale was pretty big.
Yeah, the scale's always wonky, it seems, in Substance. I'll have to tweak it.
It's just, and then, sorry, I did that too fast. And then I also go into the height, because the height is pretty extreme. Again, with the scale being like the height of it just needs to be brought down quite a lot, and now you can kind of see those planks in there. So you just need like a little bit of that scale in there. In fact, actually, the scale could probably be brought down even more. Let's bring up the height a little bit. Something like that, just to get like just some basic wood in there, and then just to show a variety of textures and how we can kind of do this. I also grabbed there's this Parisian stone wall in the asset library through Substance that I like, so I'll just throw that on the outside here. Again, scale it down a little bit. It's fine for now, and then for the all the rest of the components, I went ahead and just we'll just add the default. We'll do an iron, I think, and we'll do like iron raw damaged. Okay, so I'll just drop these on there, and then I want the same iron across everything, so I can just I can just take this, I can scale it the way I want it. You know what? We're just gonna do something else. We're just gonna do iron brushed for the time being, because then iron raw. That'll be better. It's just the scale of it always looks a little bit janky. And same thing. We don't actually need any of that, and that's fine. Okay, cool. So then you can right click, instantiate across texture sets, and then this will allow us to add it to the other areas. So we can take it off the planks. We can take it off. Is it the frame? I forget what the outside thing is. Let's just do it for now, and then I'll figure it out here in a second. And then I can go to this and be like, okay, the brick, obviously. Just take that off. Okay, cool. Well, all right, so now we have like the basics of this. So the thing that in terms of adding like grunge to it and beating it up a little bit, I think that, and also there's some concrete areas in the middle, but we're not going to worry about those for right now. For the wood planks, the biggest thing to me is that we need some dirt and grime and grunge and stuff in there. The easiest way to do that is just to add a layer. We'll take off opacity and omission. We don't need metalness. We'll just make it rough, because dirt does not have specularity to it. We will make it kind of a dirt color. And then what I end up doing is I will do a few iterations of these. So we'll call this dirt 1.
Okay.
And for something like this, I would just add a black mask, because we only want to add it in some areas, and then I would kind of lean into the generators a little bit. And so by the generators, you can use these to there's actually and when you bring it in by default, it looks like this, and you got a bunch of them. You can grab a dirt generator, and what this does is you can see it adds like a level of dirt in there, and it'll kind of like read the crevices and read some of the areas.
Oh, okay.
So, and actually for this one, I think for this color, I'm actually going to go ahead and make this darker, so you can kind of see it a little bit more. And then we can do some other stuff too, like you can go in and instead of we can add another dirt level, slightly change the color of it, because you want some more variation in there. And then you can add in, let's do this one a little bit differently. Let's add in a smart mask of, there's some dirt ones. Yeah, we'll call it like dirt cavities. Just drag and drop that in there. This will bring in like all these tools as well. Actually bring this nice mask builder. Let's see what this guy's doing. You know what? Instead, we'll do it this way. We'll add another generator, because I actually didn't like the way that one was looking. We'll do this as a metal edge. And what the metal edge will do will get us like right into those like nooks and crannies, and get us right to where we need to be. So like right in there, kind of wear it down, and then we can kind of start to play with that a little bit more. Same thing. This is not quite looking the right color. We can actually tone this one down a little bit too.
Yeah, I was just painting the grunge in.
Yeah, you don't
messing around with it the other night, but I was, still trying to figure it all out.
Basically, you don't really want to do that. You want to really lean into the generators. You can use grunge maps too. Like instead of using this as a generator, what I could do is add a fill layer, and then go into these maps over here, and then you can add a grunge. I think it's a grunge dirt. Yeah, like this dirt scratchy or dirt thin, you can just drag and drop this on here, and now that will add it to it. And you can always go in and you can be like, you know what, I like, there's some areas where I don't want dirt, so you can just add a paint layer, grab like a nice, I think there's like dirt. There's some good brushes here. Where they go? Oh yeah, like these dirt brushes too. And you can just hit X, and that'll leave some areas out. And you can paint. You can paint within it too, and you can be like, oh, there's not as much dirt around there. Like that's pretty well worn. And then once you have this kind of built up, you can group these together into a dirt folder, and then you can take this, and because it's using a generator. Oh, I know what. Wait, did I forget to do this? Yes. Okay. Dang it! I forgot to bake the mesh maps. That's why this was looking funny. Actually, let me open my other one, because that'll actually happen in there. So baking the mesh maps is absolutely crucial for using the generators as well. So what I did here was, let me go to the planks. I have those all baked out. I did the same dirt thing. And let me just show how that is. Take this down from 4K to 2K so you can kind of see it faster. I added the wood. I went into the dirt. I added one layer, and this is just using the metal edgeware or like a mask builder, and then just sharpening that a little bit. And then I added another one on top of that. And then what you can do is you can instantiate it across the texture sets, which means that you can add it, like it adds it to all the other areas. You can blend this down. You can lift it back up. For the metal, let's see, inner arch, is that what I did it first? Yeah, let me just go ahead and delete it, because I'll do it again real quick. So for the metal components, I wanted to add a little rust, so that's super easy, because you can just find the coarse rust material.
Right.
Drag and drop that in. It's just like rust everywhere.
Right.
Add a black mask, add a generator, and then we can find the metal edge from there. And then it'll just grab these little bits of rust on the edge, and you can get the grunge amount up. You can mess with these sliders until you have the amount of grunge that you want. I'm actually going to take this underneath the dirt, so the dirt's on top of it. And then same thing here, right click, instantiate across texture sets, select none of them, and we'll just say like we want it on the handle, the hinges, the frame, and the bolts. I don't know what a bobbin is. We'll just do that off for now. So now it's kind of added everywhere on all the metal components. And because it's instantiated, it means it's an instance of this. So if I change this, it'll do it everywhere at the same time.
Your screen share cut out.
Did it?
Just FYI.
Weird.
Yep.
Oh.
Just like the last 5 seconds. You're fine.
Yeah. Okay, cool. All right. Let me go ahead and fire this up again. So
I will play with that this weekend then.
Yeah. So that would be my big advice on that one.
Okay, cool.
Is just lean into the generators, and don't worry about use painting as a secondary thing, but not the primary the primary source of it. All right, cool. All right, great. Let me just throw this over here, and we'll hop back into, and we'll go through the other images for the time being. We've got about 10 minutes left, so I will do this on the double. All right, cool. Austen, this is looking a lot better. I think that red light might be... It's looking nice and tight. I think there's a part, like especially right there, I think it's a little bit too bright. But I'm liking the position. I almost wonder if we don't amp up the influence of it, not so much like in expanding what's there, but maybe add a second rim. Like add a second light kind of coming at her from the other angle, so that like not only does it hit here, it kind of hits on this side of her too. And just think of it as just like hitting her profile kind of in its entirety. Not like all around her all the time, so it's always behind her. It's always in that position, but like try a second light to hit it up a little bit more. I think that could be really cool. And again, you can light link it just to her, so it doesn't necessarily have to influence the room too much. And then for now, the low res, the robot looks good. I also want to see, so this room outside of there, we kind of need to push it one way or the other. Either needs to be that's the source of the red light, and that value needs to come up, and we get a little shaping in there, or we take it down and that's dark. So we either need it to be. Actually, I think it just needs to be brighter because it is going to be it is going to be like our light source for that red light. So I think we need to just like pump up visually what we're seeing out of that room there. Yeah, this is cool. Watch out for, again, it's tough, but watch out for the sharp shadow coming in there. And then probably for the next iteration, let's try and get a little bit of haze, like a little bit of volumetric around these lights coming out of the top. I think that would be very cool too. All right, great. And feel free, I'm going to move a little quick today just because of the time constraints, but if I'm taking your breath, feel free to jump in at any point and let me know. Do you guys have any notes on this one? All right, cool. Let's take a look at Kaya's too. All right. The speed of the dust is nice. A couple of them just kind of... it's tough because they almost just like appear on frame. I get that they're entering the light, but looking at this one right here, it just kind of like, when playing it at speed, it just like pops on. So I almost think that I love the idea of them respecting the light source, and usually I love things coming in and out of light, but given that they almost look like they appear and disappear, I almost think it should just leave it in the light source throughout. The rest of it's looking really nice. Can you do me a favor in the next iteration, just as a test? Can we push this light a little brighter to kind of match the light here? I think. Or maybe just around like a smaller area of it. It's reading as being something different because the values of it are so different. It doesn't actually, it doesn't need to quite go as bright as this, but it should go brighter than it is right now. I like this stuff coming in. This looks great in here. Soccer ball deflated looks great. Also, if there's any way to get a little bit more smoothing on that, I see like a sharp angle there. Really cool stuff. All right, let's take a look at your other one. Skin looks so much better. That looks really good. Eye reflections look good. And this is where Sync Sketch dies. We almost had an entire one. Top over here. I've got it in here. Don't worry, everybody. Okay, too. All right, cool.
Yeah, that looks a lot better.
Yeah, her skin looks really, really, really good. I'm not. So here's the thing. I think the muzzle flashes are a cool idea. I don't think we should do them though, because it's making. This is gonna sound really stupid because obviously she's static. She's always been static throughout this, but there's something about that, like adding movement, that makes her feel more static. Like one time I was working on a film and we were wondering if we should make the trees move in the forest behind the characters, and because it looked great, but it was really, really expensive to render because then we had to render every frame. And the thought one time was like, oh, what if we just rendered the trees moving on the frames where the camera's moving, and then where it's still, we'll just lock it off and save time that way. We tried that, and adding movement on some frames and made the other frames feel like dead still. So I think that actually having the flash up here and her not reacting at all to it makes it feels a little strange. But feel free to disagree with me on that. If you do decide to continue, there actually needs to be like more of, because right now it feels like it's just happening on top of it, and it needs to light needs to come out of there. Like the inside of this tube needs to glow as well, and then it also feels a little bit on the yellow side. Like I would push it a little more reddish. I think. I don't know. I don't fire guns that often or ever. So I don't know, but I think maybe look at some reference because I feel just like my gut tells me that they're a little bit on a reddish warm side. The environment looks great.
You know what would be might be kind of a way to have both in there is maybe just do the muzzle flashes up close, so it kind of maybe looks like it's something from the environment, and then when it pans out, you don't have a muzzle flash. But keep the actual flashing until it pans out, maybe. I don't know.
Oh yeah.
I like it zoomed in.
Yeah. Just make it like boom, 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 like at the beginning, like boom, boom, boom right here, and then that's it.
Yeah, like 3 fast shots, and then it pans out.
Yeah, that could be cool too. Okay, I'm into that. Yeah, because it looks good there. I love that it's hitting just like the rims, and it's not like overtaking the whole thing. Yeah, that's a smart one.
Yeah, also, I would just do like a 3 quick burst, so it looks like a gun flash.
Yeah.
And then as it pans out, you don't need it anymore.
Right, because the pace of the flashing too feels more like a warning light than a gun firing. Because like it'd be like ba 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 ba, like it's much faster normally. And then last one, it's kind of dumb, but like this this thing kind of comes on as we pull away from camera, or I don't know if it's just the angle of it. But like it's not on, and then it kind of starts to glow. So just look into that. If it's on the whole time, I think that's cool. Just have a little bit of that light influence underneath the gun if you can. Really, really great stuff though. Cool all around. All right. So Austen, Brenda, Holly. All right, we've got 3 references here. Actually, pretty similar to what Austen, in terms of the darkness with the red elements mixed in. And then we've got these test renders. It's interesting. It looks like the ship's turned off, and it comes in. It's just messing with the alpha here. I'll just drag in. I'll put in a kind of a gray background just so we have something back there, so it's not too distracting. Let's just double check that. And then I will do this for the other ones too. All right, cool. All right, so it's going to be kind of a similar situation. The thing that's working really nice about this reference is that, like this one, it's like lots of dark tones. There's blues and reds, and then the character's just getting lots of rim light. Same thing here. It's just like dark values overall, and just like pockets, small pockets of red, just hitting like highlights and things like that. Here we're getting hit really broadly with the red. So I think it's going to be more about like finding your base color, which is going to be kind of your bluest color, making that pretty dim because we want to create some high contrast, allowing some areas of the background to fall into like pockets of darkness, like similar to like this area, or like we got some real darkness in here, and then just kind of the blue ambient light. Same thing, like there's a very low ambient light, but there's also some dark values within it. And then same thing here, just getting the darkness to the light, to dark to light, finding our dark values in this. And then from there, we can start to rim in some red light. And like, so don't think about hitting it broadly, think about glancing angles. And not just on the character, on the environment itself. Yeah. And again, like, depending, so all of these are pretty low light. Oh, this one has the ceiling light on too. I was going to say, depending on how you want to do it, you may want to consider turning off those ceiling lights. It's either like, let's make them an asset, or let's ignore them to get them out of the way. But that would be the 3 big things I would have you work on. Glancing redness on them, and then finding our dark values as well. All right, cool. I think that's everyone for today. Did I miss anything? I hope not. Let me just double check real quick before I hop. But I think we got everyone. All right, cool. All right, great work, everybody. Thank you all for sticking with me on that the Substance Painter demo. Kat, if you want that file or have any questions, let me know. I was just talking, so a couple reminders. I'm here tomorrow. I'm out Monday, and then I'm thinking about taking a break from critiquing, like maybe a month off or two in January, February, just to put together a substance course for AAA. No promises on that yet, but we'll see if we can do that. Because I was thinking like, I could just do a course on this, and then just add it to the bundle. We'll see.
That'd be cool.
I probably shouldn't say that out loud. I'm just thinking it through now. Okay. All right. I'll leave it at that. You all have a wonderful day. Enjoy yourselves, and I will see you back again tomorrow. And congratulations again, Brenda. Looks great.
Thank
All right.
you.
Take care. Bye, y'all.